Hey, sports fans, this is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes. Here with my man, Level Up Sports 10, Mossberg, and my man from City League TV, T1. How y'all brothers doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. How's it going this evening? Appreciate you having me as usual. How's it going, City League?
Good, good, fellas. Good. Let's get it.
That's good. It's good. Good that y'all can join tonight, man, so we can talk a little bit of college football. Listen, week 5, man, was unbelievable. Week 4 was unbelievable. Week
Yeah.
3 was unbelievable. Week 2 was
Cool.
unbelievable. Week 1 was unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Even week 0 was
Yeah.
unbelievable, man. We have
Agreed.
gotten some of the best college football that I've seen probably in the last 10, 15 years, man. Probably because Texas is better than they've been in a while. That's probably what sums it up for me.
Man,
How's it been for you, Level Up Sports Team?
it's been pretty good. It's been a tough season being a Florida State fan, but definitely been enjoying the season. I know we all talk about it, watching as much football than we can handle at times, but it's definitely been fun, man. It's definitely been probably one of the best seasons that I've seen, and I've been watching football for quite some time.
Man, before we jump into that top 25, I was looking at some things, and there's 19 undefeated teams in college football right now.
Yes,
5 of them are from the Big Ten.
yeah,
4 of them are from the SEC.
yeah.
3 of them are from the ACC.
Hey,
2 are from the Big 12. Then you got 3 group of 5 teams that are undefeated. And you got 2 military schools, military academies that are undefeated.
yes,
Man, that is amazing.
man.
That is super duper amazing. And as you all know, if you've seen the AP top 25, there's been a bunch of movement in that top 25. I
Yes.
mean, a bunch of movement. So let's take a look at 21 through 25. At 25, you got UNLV, who was not in the top 25 before week 5.
Yeah. Yep.
Then you got number 24, Illinois, who was not in the top. No, yeah, Illinois wasn't. No, did they fall out? I think they fell out. Now they're back in.
They dropped down. Nah, they was in it and they dropped 5 positions. They was one of the teams that I
Oh, yeah,
had
that's right.
like
That's right.
out of those teams. We'll talk about it. I'm sure once we finish this a little bit. They were definitely a questionable team.
Yeah, so I think it might have been Indiana that was not in the top 25, and now they're
Yep.
in the top 25. And they're
Yep.
one of those undefeated teams, I believe.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And then you
Number
got at
22.
22, you got Louisville. And then at 21, you got Boise State. What's
Yep.
your thoughts on those 5 teams, Level Up Sports 10?
Man, the crazy thing with these teams, the two that we really haven't talked much about that kind of shocked me was I would say the UNLV and Indiana because we really haven't watched them much. I would say I know myself haven't, and we've tried to figure out who these teams are, and for UNLV to go through the quarterback situation with him leaving, redshirting, next man up. 2 weeks later, they're in the top 25. So something good is brewing over there in Vegas when it comes to those Rebels. And I would say Boise State as well. They just keep plucking away. They had a big loss early in the season, as we see in that Oregon team that's still in the top 10. And I think for Boise State, they just got to keep plucking. And we know that running back that they have, Mr. Almost at 1,000 himself, Genty, is just out there chugging away like Ron Dane, Jerome Bettis. I mean, there's so many greats that he's out there running the football like. you can't count that Boise State team out. But we definitely want to see what Indiana is about, as well as that other team that you mentioned, which was Illinois. So UNLV, but I'm kind of seeing how Illinois go the rest of the season after getting a big win against Nebraska and then losing, I think, against a Penn State team. Me personally felt needed to show something, but we'll just really see how Illinois go.
Yeah, for sure. The biggest surprise to me was Indiana making it to the top 25 and being undefeated. I believe they're 5-0.
5-0.
That was a super shocker to me because, you don't think about Indiana as being a football school.
No.
And I'm quite sure by the end of the season, they probably won't be in the top 25. But right now, they're playing some really good football.
Really good.
Who knows? They might still be in the top 25.
They might. Exactly. You never know. And when you explain about the undefeated teams and you have with the Army and Navy, I believe that's undefeated, with the couple of the other conference, I think that just goes to show the parity that we have in college football as well, which, we talk about. We love watching it, I think, even more now because of that, just seeing the different schools that are able to compete with some of these major programs and just give us some good football to watch on the weekends for sure.
Yeah, definitely. What's your thoughts on those 21 through 25, T1?
I'm cool with them. Cool with them. They're the teams that, the little pushovers in round one. I'm cool with it. Everybody deserves it.
Yeah. Let me say this, though. Whenever you have the lower level Big Ten teams and the lower level SEC teams in the top 25, that makes it very tough for the ACC and the Big 12, man. It makes it very tough.
Great. Yeah.
Very, very tough.
Great.
Let's look at 16 through 20. At number 20, you got Kansas State. At number 19, you got Oklahoma. At 18, you got Utah. At 17, you got BYU. And at 16, you got Iowa State. What's your thoughts on that group of five right there, 16 through 20?
Take that. So you can start first, City League.
Look solid. Look solid to me. Look about right. But still, some of those third tier teams in the playoffs, but look about right. I don't see any teams in there making any type of noise.
It's definitely Big 12 heavy. I noticed that it's Big 12 heavy. So I would say, looking at that Big 12 heavy, the two teams that kind of interest me most, of course, is the upset BYU team that I have, and kind of wanting to see more of what the Iowa State team has. They're one of the teams in the Big 12 that's, not really talked about much this season. Week in, week out, they're winning. And we just definitely want to see a little more of them once we get in conference play and see what that team brings out. And especially for Utah, taking a loss and seeing how they go. They dropped 8 spots, but if Cam Riley comes back, the question remains, will he be back? And what can Utah do? Can they dig out of a hole in that Big 12? So I just, that's the team I'm kind of very questionable about out of all those teams.
Yeah, when I look at that 16 through 20, those 4 Big 12 teams are all vying for that spot to get into the 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
Because Iowa State is the highest ranked Big 12 team, which right now they would be in that 12-team playoff. Those other 3, they like, man, listen, I got to do what I got to do to try to get up ahead of Iowa State and whoever else is in front of me in the Big 12.
Yeah, because I think the Big 12 is only going to get – I think the Big 12 and probably the ACC too, they may only get one team in.
Yeah.
They may only get one team in because they may look at that second place, that second place Big 12 team or that second place ACC team and compare them to a third place, fourth place Big Ten team, and according to the rankings, it probably won't. It'll be Big Ten
Yeah.
or SEC.
Especially if Notre Dame wins out and the voters be like, man, listen, they in the top 10, we got to put them in.
Yeah.
They definitely taking a spot from an ACC or Big 12 team if they
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah,
You know?
most definitely.
Yeah. Well, let's look at 11 through 15. At number 15, we got Clemson. At 14, we got Notre Dame. At 13, we got LSU. At 12, we got Ole Miss. And at 11, we got USC. What's your thoughts on 11 through 15?
Seems like it's just getting tougher and tougher as you climb that mountain. You got a lot of teams in there, and you got, Clemson, Notre Dame, LSU, USC. I'm throwing Ole Miss out the window. They showed me this past weekend. They're not a team that I'm going to believe in as the season continues to go in the SEC. But out of those one-loss teams, I feel like Notre Dame and USC are two scary teams, somewhat based on the way their schedule goes throughout the season. And I think Clemson just have a little more of a test with the ACC, as well as Ole Miss and LSU and the SEC. So, I mean, it just gets a little tougher. I do like USC's chances.
What's your thoughts on that one, T1?
All of those schools, all of those teams are great second-tier level teams. Great second-tier level teams. Could put up a fight with the big boys, could put up a fight, but eventually will end up losing. But that looks good right there. It looks about right for what I've seen in college football this season.
Yeah, I definitely can't argue with where they placed that right now. But when I look at USC's not getting in the top 10, they got a road, they got to travel, and they got a Michigan team that they lost to that's going to be ahead of them. So I really can't see them getting past any of those upper echelon Big Ten teams to get in the top 10 to even get in the 12-team playoff. I don't see Ole Miss doing it either in the SEC. I don't see LSU doing it in the SEC. Notre Dame and Clemson are the only two that I think have a chance of getting into that 12-team playoff from the position that they're in right now. Now, if they fall any lower than that, they're in trouble.
Neither one of them teams can lose if they plan on going to the playoffs.
No, neither one.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, they definitely can't afford to lose. That's for sure. Especially Notre Dame.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can't take not one loss.
Neither one of them. Either one of them lose from here on out. It's curtains. Just pray for a nice little bowl game.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
That's it.
All right, let's look at 6 through 10. At 10, we have Michigan. At 9, we got Missouri. At 8, we got Miami. At 7, we have Penn State. And at 6, we have Oregon.
Yeah. Now it's like we starting to play some ball right here. I like that right there. I like that. But we have some of these teams that could get upset from some of the teams that we've already seen. Almost all of these teams have that type of upset capabilities with the teams that's ranked below them. You understand what I'm saying? So just looking at that, these are the teams that are like they want to be there. They want to be there. And I'm not sure that I see any of those teams that I would have as a possible championship team. So, but yeah, they working hard. They look good. They got the resume and all of that. But none of those guys. But I like them for the fight. Like they can beat the guys ahead of them as well.
Yeah.
So on a good night.
I agree. All those teams can. I mean, I feel the same way. A couple of them I want to see still, proven in Penn State as well as Miami, who I feel got a nice little schedule coming with a couple rivalry games with Florida State, Clemson, Missouri. Still don't have much of a tough schedule, but if we notice, they just keep winning, and at the end of the day, I think somebody's going to knock them off when they least expect it to take them out. And like you said, everybody's just anybody could lose in that team in that 6 through 10. So, man, this next one is going to be tough.
Yeah, just looking at those 5, man, you know that Oregon is going to play Michigan. So that's going to be one of them taking another loss. Well, Oregon don't have a loss yet. But then, of course, Oregon got to go to Ohio. Well, they got to play Ohio State, too. And then Penn State really got a they got to play Ohio State, but they got almost an easy road, man, from here on out. If they can get past USC, they only got UCLA, USC, Wisconsin. They get the Buckeyes, they get Washington, they get Purdue, Minnesota, and then they get Maryland. They have a really good chance out of Oregon and Michigan to possibly be that maybe second team in the Big Ten to possibly get into that Big Ten championship game and possibly get them a slot in the top 12. In my opinion.
Sure.
Tough schedule too. That's not too tough. Especially the way the teams have been playing so far on Saturdays.
What I definitely don't hope happen is that Missouri only gets one loss. I hope they get more than one loss because that's a team that I feel like if they get in the 12-team playoff because of their record, man, because they don't have a tough schedule in the SEC, they're going to get dumped. They're going to get dumped.
Well, somebody out the SEC might just pop them.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
You know, because it's still college football. You can be beat by anybody almost.
I mean, because the way that SEC been going this last few weeks, they got Texas A&M, and I got that down this for one of my games this week. Actually, they playing at Texas A&M this weekend.
Missouri?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
They sure do.
Yeah, they got. I would say they got Texas A&M at UMass, then they got Auburn at Alabama, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. So I think they're gonna get dropped this weekend.
Yeah, they might drop 2. In fact, because I think Alabama definitely going to thump them, which is going to be good because I didn't want to see Missouri get in there because they're not top tier SEC in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
All right, let's look at.
We still got some good football left though, but go ahead.
Man, we got a bunch of good football left.
Yeah, we still got some good football left. They could prove us wrong because I'm right with y'all with Missouri, you know, and the SEC. Just period. Like I need to see more than. You know that, but let's go.
So at 5, we got Georgia. At number 4, we got Tennessee. At 3, we got the Ohio State Buckeyes. At 2, we got Texas, and at 1, we got Alabama. What's your thoughts on that 5 right there?
Listen here, I'm gonna start off with number 5, Georgia. Y'all watched the game Saturday, right?
Yes, indeed.
So, is it fair to say that something happened that was not normal? Because we've been talking on this show about what we've seen in Georgia up to this point.
Right.
I mean, yeah, we talked about that. Alabama absolutely manhandled them out of the gate. What was it, 21-zip? Did they get famed? They got famed, right?
They got famed early.
Yeah, they got famed early. 21-zip. Georgia looked like what we've seen throughout the season so far. So I don't know who made the call, whatever, whatnot, but I'm not buying the outcome of that game. Georgia is nowhere near at one point anything close to Alabama. They did that for the SEC to make it look like it was a game. That game was over in the first quarter. It was over. It was like SEC versus Chattanooga or SEC versus Alabama versus Mercy. It was that type of game that was going on. But we have to remember, ESPN owns the SEC. That's their product. They can't have 2 top 5 teams going against each other and it just being a complete massacre. Like, hold up, time out. You saying this is a powerhouse team? We've seen Georgia all year long. Like, I've been called a conspiracy theorist about everything that I've ever talked about. But listen here. We know what Georgia is. Georgia is not that. Alabama showed that early. Like, they could have, like, that was supposed to be ugly. But ESPN cannot put some bad product out here. Pookie not gonna want none of that. You heard me?
Right. Not one bit.
But Alabama looks great. Texas looks good. Ohio State looks good to great. Tennessee looks like somebody gonna pop them. And Georgia shouldn't even be there. It's a couple teams I might be able to put in front of Georgia.
I agree. I'm still trying to figure out what's the big deal with Georgia. I know we came on and spoke about it after that game, and my thoughts on that was who will we see when it comes to Georgia? Who is Georgia? And after the game, 400 wasn't enough. So Georgia actually, to me, after Alabama with the young team that they have, knowing the secondary issues, which showed we talked about as well, but for Alabama to be able to do that so fast, so quick, that's something that needs to be addressed when it comes to Georgia. Because now I think Georgia's the one team out of the top 10 that has a target on their back, and everybody want their spot more so than feeling that they should be there. And outside of that, I like the way Ohio State played, minus some turnovers, I think, early, which could have cost them, a couple points, but that just shows the type of team they are and what they can do when it comes to making them coaching calls right in the heat of a moment when those things happen. Texas is Texas. I feel that Texas should have been the team still number one because of what we've seen in Georgia this season and seeing how Kentucky played against them. I feel like, okay, Bama was number 2 at halftime. If Bama wins this game, Bama's still number 2, even from Georgia coming and taking a lead. With them giving up the lead right back, that just shows the Georgia that we've been seeing all season. So with that being said, I mean, I have my say about the top 3 overall, but Georgia definitely is a team that I don't think deserve to be in that top 5. I mean, everybody's going to have to say what they say. Yeah, it was against a team that was number 6 in Alabama, but at the end of the day, they don't deserve that. Alabama trounced them.
But to me, that's 2 teams, 2 games that Georgia has had early in the season where you didn't look good. You look at those games, that defensive line, not good. Not what we're used to seeing in Georgia. That offense, not good. Not what we're used to seeing. The secondary, not good. Not good. That's what we've seen. But the AP and the polls and all them, they're saying this is still the same Georgia. So although they lost the game and came close to Kentucky, who beat Ole Miss, they're still the same Georgia. They're not the same Georgia. They're not the same Georgia. And I don't know how they just have them there like they are, because they're not. There's no way that you see the same Georgia that you've seen in the past 5 years.
Yeah, when we talked about that early after that game was over with, and me and Level Up Sports 10 was talking about it, and we were like, we felt like they should have fell between 7, 8, 9 We couldn't put them at 10 because we knew Michigan was going to at least get to 10, and they already had a loss. But
Right.
we did not see them really being ahead of Penn State or Oregon with a loss, but we knew that the voters wasn't going to do that to them, no. So
Right,
we knew
right,
they
right,
going to end up at
right. That was just like the whole game. That's what I'm saying about the whole game. No way the ESPN gonna put no bad product out there like that. You gotta understand what product is. The people want the product. If you ain't got that product, if you ain't got that they ain't messing with you. ESPN is the man. ESPN is the man. And it just so happened that one of their little workers is the SEC. Ain't no other conference got no money ties with ESPN. I don't even know how they even let ESPN get money ties to one conference. They have money ties with one conference. And that's what I've been saying since they've done this. And like I say, that's why they don't like me. But that's all right. I don't care. Dog, how do you get to go get a conference? And you the biggest leader in sports. You brainwash everybody with everything that got to do with sports because you're showing the same thing over and over and over again. You have your analysts brainwashing everybody what they're thinking, what they see in these games and everything. But yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask y'all this real quick, because I mean, this has been on my mind since I was looking at this top 25 earlier. You got Tennessee at 4, but then you got Penn State at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at 7. Do you think the Tennessee win over Oklahoma was a bigger win than the Penn State win over Illinois?
I don't think it's that big a difference.
I don't think it's that big a difference either.
I would say no, because if you factor in the fact that both teams, when it comes to Penn State, Illinois, even if you would think about it, they both got offense. That was a banger. I don't think the Tennessee and Oklahoma was near as much of a banger as that was. But, not at all. No way.
I mean, I even believe that Penn State has a better resume than Oregon too, but Oregon is ahead of them as well.
And I think one thing I was thinking about Oregon and watching Oregon and seeing how they ranked them. One thing like we've been waiting on, man. 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks is going to show a lot about what Eugene is about, what this uniform transition about, what a lot of things is going on in Oregon, I feel, in the whole outlook of their season. Because I've noticed times where Oregon have lost a game to a powerhouse team and it just tore their season apart. So one thing that I'm waiting for is a few weeks to see how this Oregon team really fared. And that's going to definitely show me more of if the Ducks deserve to be in the top 10, the top 5, even if they lose the game. Where do y'all deserve to be? Are y'all better than a Georgia with that loss? So
Yeah.
those are the things I'm going to be looking forward to when it comes to Oregon.
Let me ask y'all this. Will Alabama win the SEC?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I've been watching Alabama since last year. Alabama, I think, is even to mid-season from last year up until this point still is the scariest team. Got to put Texas above them. If Ewers is there, the reason you have to do that is because he's went into one of the most, not only powerhouses of college football, but in the stadium that everybody know. You go to Tuscaloosa, you come out of that place with a win and you're a starting quarterback, you know what that holds on your shoulders. So I think for him to be able to do that and then go in the big house, I think that separates him from wanting that SEC. Not only that, wanting that championship trophy. I don't think he really cares much about the Heisman Trophy. I think he want to get healthy, get himself prepared for an SEC rumble and the jungle that is going to be throughout the rest of this season. And that's the only reason I feel that them two are clash, but I still have Texas with that slight advantage with Ewers there. I just like that team, as well as even though I like Williams on Alabama's side as well as Melrose.
I like Alabama. I don't think Texas is. They're not ready quite yet. They still not ready for the big stage. They're gonna do all right in the regular season. They're gonna be all right, but I don't think they're ready for the big stage yet.
I mean, there's some validity
My
to that.
fault, Rob, but
No, there's some
I'm just
validity
saying.
to it.
I'm just saying. We're gonna have to see.
It's understandable,
Yeah,
definitely.
there's definitely some validity to that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. The reason why I think Texas would probably win the SEC is simply because it's not Nick Saban coaching Alabama. If it was Nick Saban coaching Alabama, Nick Saban gonna do what Nick Saban do in games in when the championship is on the line.
Yeah.
But with Kellen DeBoer and what I seen him do against Georgia, he took his foot off the gas, man. He wasn't doing the same things he was doing to build that big lead. And they let Georgia get back in there. Now, I know my man T1 is pulling the ESPN thing, but we've seen enough college football to know when you take your foot off the gas and the team don't want to be embarrassed, they're going to start making some plays. And they let Georgia start to make some plays. And it could be ESPN saying, listen, Kellen DeBoer, you got to take the air out the ball, man. Let these guys get back in the game, man. We're going to let you win it in the end, though. But you got to let them get back in the game.
The problem. All I'm saying is it's their product. That's all I'm saying. It's their product. So, it is what it is. Ain't nothing we can do about it. But
Yeah.
that's their product, and they are supposed to be a non-biased,
That's true.
station.
That's true. Just make the money. That's all you got to do. ESPN, make the money. You ain't got to be rooting for nobody or even, none of that kind of stuff. But I do believe that it's going to be Alabama and Texas in that SEC championship game for sure.
I agree with that.
They're going to want some get back from last year, too. They're going to want some get back.
And I would love for Texas to beat Alabama and win the SEC. I already talked about how, the teams that have come from the Big 12 over to the SEC and had success right off the rip. Yeah. So it'll be great for Texas to come in and have that same success that Texas A&M and Missouri had when they joined the SEC.
Yeah, for sure. What about this next question? Who will give the Ohio State Buckeyes the greatest challenge for the Big Ten title?
I ain't going first.
I'm a man. This is a tough one, and I think you're going to agree with me on this one. And the reason I say this team is that usual team, that TT, a team from up north, is because the progression I've been seeing in Michigan week by week is keeping people wondering what are they going to do when that game come about. For me, just that's what I see. Outside of that, I think Penn State is a good team. I don't know. Oregon really haven't showed me much. And I just feel that Michigan, in the end of it, they got back into the 10, they got back into the playoff, and they got the schedule to where all they got to do is win. They faced the hurdles early. They just got to get to those winning games and then get to that game against Ohio State. And I feel that'll be that one team, as usual, get in the way. That's just my opinion.
I don't know which team it's going to be. But I think that it's going to be a team that doesn't even play Ohio State this year, that has that schedule, that they're going to be able to, they may be able to find their way up to the top some type of way. I don't think it's Michigan, because I see them losing to somebody before they get to us. I see somebody knocking them off before they get to us. If not, good, let's bang out. But I think it's going to be a team that Ohio State doesn't play. And I guess that one top team is USC, and unless you get a surprise team like a Indiana or Illinois, one of them. I mean, you don't know right now because I'm looking at Indiana and Illinois, and they're looking like some teams that can pop you, and even Michigan State. Michigan State looked good. You just have to understand the caliber of team that they was going against, but Michigan State looked like they're going to be a problem too in the Big Ten, just to screw things up a little bit.
Yeah, just to play every week like that Kentucky team, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's all that team up north is going to be able, what Michigan is going to be able to do is try to be a spoiler for the Buckeyes at the end of the season. I don't think they're going to be close to being in contention, but I don't think they're going to be the team that's going
to. Yeah, it's always a game.
Yeah.
It's always a game.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think they're going to be the team that they're going to play. The Buckeyes are going to play for the Big Ten championship. I think it's going to be somebody. It's going to be somebody that they play, though. I don't see Rutgers or Indiana or Illinois playing for the Big Ten championship against the Buckeyes. I think it's going to be Oregon, USC, one of those.
I like that USC.
Yeah, one of those two.
Hey, let me share this too. This is just my thought. I could be wrong. But our offense, Ohio State, what you're seeing right now, it's so vanilla. Even our defense, it's so vanilla. Like, I'm looking at the game getting upset. But then I'll take a minute and think about it a little bit. Like, if you're planning to get all the way to the playoffs and, like, to the championship game, you know it's going to be a long season. And in college football, you cannot show too much too soon because they'll get hip to you and they'll shut all of it down. Like in those rivalry games and like with Ohio State, Michigan, there's plays that are not run none of those 11 games. And that's with Ohio State and Michigan. None of those plays are ran in that 11 games, offensively and defensively. So I'm seeing a lot of vanilla offense and defense from Ohio State, which I'm going to try to see if I can get used to or whatever, whatnot, because I did not like how far back our corners were playing on the receivers this past game. And but I guess we figured, bend don't break, try to keep everybody healthy, get the backup some time just in case they got to get in there because it's going to be a long season.
Yeah.
If you plan on being there. If you don't plan on being there, it'll be over before you know it.
Do you think they're going to be vanilla this week against Iowa?
Iowa?
Yeah. Y'all got Iowa this week?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You think they're going to be vanilla against Iowa?
I think we're going to see the same thing we've been seeing.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see these little short screens and all of this, all that. You know what I mean? You're going to see the same little run plays that we're running. Ain't going to be a lot different because a lot of that is working. So we're just going to keep perfecting that and keep benefiting off of that. But we got to, with Chip Kelly, man, that's what people don't understand about what Ohio State has this year. With Chip Kelly coming in and driving this Cadillac, man, I don't know if a lot of people know who Chip Kelly is, but he's our offensive coordinator, not our head coach. He just need to drive this Cadillac and don't wreck it.
It's just a Cadillac?
Yeah, it's just a Cadillac.
Hold on.
Hey, it's your mama daddy Cadillac that they work and paid for.
Y'all had the Maserati last year, and he just got a Cadillac this year. That's it.
Just like one of them. What was that? One of them 68s or something.
Oh yes.
One of them 68s.
Okay.
I ain't talking about no CTS or nothing, man. Come on, man.
Nah. I was just making sure. I was wondering if you had those classic.
No. You got something that's in mint condition, and your job is just to not get a scratch or nothing on it.
Okay, so
that's it. You got something in mint condition. It's just given to you. Chip Kelly has never had the tools like this to work with in none of his careers in the NFL In college, none. What he has right now, he living the life. He said, "I don't want to be a head coach no more. I just want to coach football. That's it, and have fun."
Can I ask you
And
this
I
about
think we're
the
gonna have some
offense?
fun this year. Go ahead.
With the receivers, I noticed this with the receivers. How we talked about, I know I spoke about how Ibuka getting involved early helps the offense kind of move differently. I
Yep.
noticed you got the opposite receiver going early this week, and I noticed in between the drops that Ibuka had. You think that was an issue due to him not getting it sooner, or is that something that just being a fan and just watching the game for me, I was like, that's not something that I'm used to seeing, but I
Yeah,
just
just
kind
something
of
that
noticed
just
that
happened. Just something that just happened. Ain't nothing major.
he did make up
And
for him. I will say that.
yeah, ain't nothing major at all. That's our wide receiver, 1A. We know Smith is 1B, but
I'm starting at like 17 a
that's what
little more. I'm liking 17 and 4 more.
yeah, Tate
Yeah,
is
yeah,
Tate 17, yeah, and it's number 11. We still remember we have those receivers.
yeah.
Right now it's wide receiver you. So it's like just wait your turn, and you will guarantee, get to this next level and make some big money.
Got you.
You hear a lot of people saying that Ohio State hasn't played anybody with a pulse, but maybe they haven't looked at their schedule, man. They played number 6 Oregon. They played Nebraska, who was solid. They played number 7 Penn State. Then they got Illinois, Indiana, who's ranked, and then they got Michigan, who's ranked.
Yeah.
That's
We
what,
just haven't
5
hit
more
those
teams?
games yet. Like I said, this practice right now. We
No,
getting
I
ready
know,
for
I
them
know, but
games.
it's they act like they haven't seen their schedule, though. And I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
they're gonna play on
yeah,
this.
yeah. Like just sit back and wait.
Yeah, just sit back and wait.
Yeah.
So if it's still practice, when the season start? That's my question.
When
This
the
week,
season starts this week, practice over with. Actually, it started last week with Michigan State. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? It started last week with Michigan State. Yeah, practice over with. Big Ten play. Let's go.
for
Let's
sure.
go.
Definitely,
But
definitely.
we still know we don't have to bring the big guns out for certain schools.
Right.
Let me ask y'all this: will the ACC and the Big 12 get more than one team in the 12-team playoff? If so, who?
I just say no, because I don't believe that second place ACC or Big 12 team is better than a third place Big 10 or SEC team. And I'm
So
quite
right,
sure they won't be ranked higher than them.
so right now, who would be your third ranked Big Ten team? You got Indiana, that's 5-0, Ohio State, Penn State, and
It's a
Oregon at
lot.
4.
It's a lot up there, man. It's a lot
I
up
would
there.
I would say no. It would be tough to put 2 in, but the Big 12, I would say kind of. I would put my shoulder in a way because Miami and Clemson play each other in the ACC, I believe, as well as Duke playing either one of those teams. So I think with them games, that'll take the ACC out of having a pitch for 2 teams, whereas the Big 12 kind of have a little more to say with BYU and Iowa State, and then you got Colorado. You got a Big 12 that's pretty tough this year when you look at the overall conference, and I think how the parity runs in that Big 12. It's not an SEC or a Big 10, but if one of those MAC schools or one of those independent schools fare and lose a few games, I think you have to consider those 2 conferences to look at as well as those other undefeated Army teams we have right now.
Man, I was trying to do the numbers on it. So if you got 2 ACC teams in, and you got 2 Big 12 teams in, and you got 1 Group of 5 team in, That's 5 slots already taken. That means you got 7 slots left for the AC. I mean the Big Ten and the SEC.
Right. That's not enough.
So
And no, but even still, I could see if they did that, I could see them giving the SEC 4 and giving us 3. Because, like I say, ESPN's product, man, y'all gotta remember that.
yeah, so if they do
The more
give,
teams they got in it, the better.
so if they do give them 4 and 3, that leaves 4 slots left because the group of 5 is going to get 1. If Notre Dame doesn't get in, then it's possible they can get 2 in. I think if Clemson runs the table and they either lose or beat Miami, if Miami runs the table, whether they lose or not, I think that Clemson and Miami can get in.
Yeah. I think you can't negate that because it'll always be that discrepancy once again. That'll be 2 years in a row that the ACC will get screwed if you get SEC teams in there. And it'll be with the 12-team playoff this time. So,
But we definitely just gonna have to see what that ACC do, man. Like
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting just how all of it plays out.
Yeah, because you still
Because
got
I like Colorado's schedule.
Yeah,
like I've seen some ESPN cats where they was debating, like looking at the schedule, like tell me where you see 3 more wins, just so they'll be bowl eligible. But I looked at the schedule and I'm looking like they can possibly do some things if they can stay healthy and just keep going because the Big 12 is not that. I could see Colorado being that second Big 12 team.
Really? Ooh.
That's the only way they can get it, is if Colorado can make any type of noise.
Yeah, Colorado makes some noise. They letting Prime get in.
They let him in. That.
That's the only way they get that's the only way they get more than one.
That's must-see TV.
And that's if they don't go win the Big 12.
Right.
Y'all better recognize, man.
So a lot of teams that, like right now, they got weeks coming up. This week 5 through 8. I think them was the weeks that we talked about being some of the weeks to where it's going to show a lot, start to separate.
It's a lot about that. It's a lot about to happen.
Stepping up, man, and being a powerhouse. And right now, I think Georgia's one of the teams in the SEC. I honestly don't even think about, like, I look at Missouri for real right now. That's just how I look at Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they got to prove something to me, just like Missouri being a number 9.
Well, they already dropped one of those 4 games that we talked about them possibly losing.
Yeah.
Almost one.
Yeah.
They still got 3 more to go.
Yes, they do.
We said
yes, they do.
What, 3 out of the 4? I think we said they
No, it's looking bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's looking bad.
For sure. It's looking bad for sure. Let me ask y'all this. Are there any teams with a dominant defense that you've seen so far?
No. And that's why I feel confident in my team, because I feel like we can outscore anybody. I feel like it. If we had to get into a scoring match, y'all want to do some SEC, ACC, Pac-12, just throw the ball all around the place. I feel like we can do that if we had to. And I think Ryan Day has learned from his mistakes of not doing it when nobody can stop your receivers. Nobody.
I definitely feel the same way you do about Texas being able to do that. What scares me about Texas is I don't know if their running game is going to be good enough to, if you got to ice the game, can we get the ball in the 4th quarter and have 5 minutes left on the clock and run that clock out on somebody? I don't know if Texas can do that.
Y'all don't have a running game, bro?
They heard it.
We banged up.
Banged up, yeah. They banged up right now.
I don't think we don't have no back that's 100% healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
all got nagging injuries right now.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand. I just pray that mine stay healthy, and I pray that y'all's get healthy.
Yeah, for sure, for
I
sure.
want everybody to be healthy.
But I haven't seen any dominant defenses yet.
Nah,
You know, in the past you would see, man, you couldn't get 100 yards on some teams, man.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't see none of that anymore.
Not one team that's dominant defensively.
Yeah. Nobody. You
But
know, everybody has their times. I'm just gonna say, even my team, at the beginning of the season, if you would ask me the same question, I'd have been like, "Yeah, them Buckeyes, we locking stuff down." I'm quite sure I said that before the season started. But it's them other players on the other side of the ball. They love football too. They work just as hard as the next man. You gonna have to fight. You gonna have to fight.
I agree.
that's what I was going to ask next. Do you think that the skill position anyway, has gotten so good, man, and now you can scheme up almost anything? Because you really don't have no handicaps nowadays, man. When you got running backs catching the ball out the backfield, plus they can run, plus they fast. Then you got receivers all over the place. You got tight ends that's factored in the game. It's almost like offenses have gotten so good. There's no way to have dominant defenses anymore, man.
Because you can't stop the pass.
Yeah.
You can't stop the pass. You put five wide out. You put trips over here, twins over here, and just drop back and throw the ball. You can't stop it.
Yeah.
You can't stop it. That's how Tom Brady got all of his rings from passing the ball, little 10-yard passes, little 5-yard passes. It was just a few bombs that was on point and all of that. It was only a few long balls. All of them was little dinks, dink, dink, nickel and diamond. That's how I came up, nickel and diamond when I hustled. That's why I don't understand how these coaches still ain't nickel and diamond.
Yeah.
Get me to that first down.
Yeah. Oh, somebody from my gaming community.
Oh, okay.
My
How
gaming
you doing,
community.
Sarah?
How's it going? Appreciate it, Sarah. But I totally agree with that, because the one thing I look at is when you speak about the offensive side of the ball, you have your players on defense that may stand out, but when you just sitting back and you throwing that football, I think that's what calls for something like a Georgia, Alabama, where we seen points get scored coming back, and then you see Alabama make that big play, and they make that big play right away, boom. And once that happens, you sit back, and if you can't score points in today's game, and that's part of having an offensive line, having a quarterback, some of the things we talk about all the time, I think that's definitely gonna hurt you. So, at the end of the day, yeah, the offense is just crazy to where the defense honestly can't keep up.
Hey, shout out to the WNBA women, man. They on right now.
The
Las
playoffs.
Vegas and New York is on right now. Third quarter, New York up 10. We know
game
Las
on, right?
Vegas going for the three-peat.
This
Hey,
game on?
WTP Sports Dudes, man. We believe in everybody and everything. We don't discriminate. What's up?
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Sarah said, "Go Michigan."
You can answer that one, T1. City League, that's all yours.
Michigan making the playoffs. They have to go undefeated from here on out and lose the tight game to Ohio State. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. That's the only way they can get in.
I totally agree.
Oh, they're not winning. They're not winning.
Alabama go up 3, Texas drop 1, Ohio State don't move. The only team that don't move, and they played and they won by 3 touchdowns, which that was the only interesting thing I would say to me that kind of, I looked at differently, and that's why I said it should have been Texas, Ohio State, then Alabama, if anything. Even with them beating the, to me, unproven Georgia team, as we see. So, that was just my feel on it. But I feel that I talked to quite a few Ohio State fans, And even to you, City League T1, I feel that y'all in the right spot, right where y'all need to be. And I think you would agree with me with that, with every
Nope,
game that
I
we
want them to
play.
keep dropping us. Keep dropping us. We need that chip. I love the chip. Like keep disrespecting us.
I know you
Because
will.
before
I
the
know you
season started, and still now, all we hear, y'all paid for everything. Y'all paid for the national championship. Why aren't we number one all across the board? What am I missing? What am I missing if everybody's saying Ohio State paid $20 million for a national championship? They supposed to win it. Why aren't we number one all across the board?
I think they don't expect nobody to score on y'all, man. I think y'all got to put up zeros on the opposing team more with that 20
They're human beings. They're football players too. They're gonna score points.
You might have also paid for that chip that's being put on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Michigan gave us that chip. Nobody needed that money. Nobody needed the money for the motivation for what's going down this year.
I know that's
So
right.
The 3 L's is enough. All the alumnus coming in, and y'all the only group that hasn't beat these bums. You got cats coming in as old as their dad. Like, dude, we ain't lost to them. Y'all have not beaten. So it's a huge chip.
yeah,
Then they get to come off this year, and of course, we cannot talk no type of trash until after that game. Michigan has all the bragging rights. I give it to them. They the kings. They're the kings right now.
All right, so real quick answers, yes or no. Can BYU or Iowa State go undefeated?
No.
No.
No. Can Duke, Miami?
Wow, hold up. Time out, Robert. Rewind just a little bit.
Go back
So
to that
now
one?
let's go through the discussion. If they do go, both of them go undefeated, do they play in the regular season?
I don't think so. Let me just check.
Okay, so let's say they don't play in the regular season and both of them do go undefeated and they go meet in the Big 12 championship game. Do you have an automatic 2-team Big 12 team into the playoffs? I'll say you do if they both go undefeated.
Yeah, definitely. Because I'm big on that sleeper team with when it comes to
They do not play each other either in the regular season.
Yeah. And both of those teams do appear to be a little like they may be able to go in and do some things.
yeah.
And I would love no more than whichever one of them play Colorado for Colorado to go ahead and upset them and get that up out of there.
Yeah, Colorado don't play BYU.
They only play BYU. They should be able to get BYU.
They don't
just
play.
for the sake.
They don't play BYU.
Oh, they don't. Oh, okay. I'm like, I'd rather play BYU.
Hold on, let me look at BYU schedule because I forgot if I answered this the other night.
That was a great question, Rob.
I'm gonna say
That's
BYU
a good one.
I'm gonna say BYU go undefeated.
That's what their schedule looking like.
They got Arizona coming up at home, Oklahoma State coming up at home, but they got to go to Central Florida, UCF, and Utah back to back. Then they go back home against Kansas. Then they go to Arizona State, and then they close out with Houston. I'm taking BYU as my undefeated team here going into Week 6.
Yeah, Iowa State, they don't play Colorado either. They don't play Colorado either. They got Iowa State got Baylor next week, then West Virginia,
Win.
then UCF, then Texas Tech.
UCF look good, man.
Man, what's UCF? They just beat the snot out of them.
Huh?
Colorado just beat the snot out of them.
They ain't beat the snot out of them, but UCF's offense look like they can do some things.
Iowa State is going to discipline them in the trenches.
Oh, yeah, that's how you feel?
Iowa State with the win.
And they got Kansas, Cincinnati, Utah, but their last 2 games is tough. They got Utah and Kansas State.
And
They
see,
got
that's the
Utah
thing.
in Utah, and then they got Kansas State at the crib in Iowa State.
Oh,
Iowa State can do that. That's easy.
I think they
they
can do
can't
it
be.
too. I think they
Yeah,
can do it.
that's a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna say BYU because I think that trap game is them looking ahead to that game to close out the season, and they got that tough Kansas State team on the road.
Yeah. All right, well, give me y'all's opinion on this one. Can Duke, Miami, or Pitt go undefeated?
Mm.
Duke and Miami play
Yes.
each other too.
Somebody can.
Mm. I'm gonna say, damn, because I got Duke as my sleeper team.
The ACC ain't that good. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes, and I know I'm gonna keep Duke as a sleeper team, but I'm gonna say Pitt could be the team to possibly go undefeated because I just think that Miami and Duke gonna be a banger of a game. You never know how that could go, but I think Miami still got a couple games that they actually got to prove themselves before that Duke game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Miami, they don't play Pitt either.
Yeah,
They
Miami and Florida State play yet?
They
you know,
play in 2 weeks, I think. 2
we
or 3
play in
weeks.
2 weeks. We got Clemson this weekend, and then we got Miami the following weekend after that. The 12th, the
Can
18th.
y'all upset them, bro? Can y'all
I think
upset them?
we playing with the backup. The $1 million man that they called him, I'm gonna say $1 million man. He out with a broken thumb or broken finger, so hopefully the backup will come in and get us some
Who
gold.
that? Who out?
Ukulele, he out.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I call him, Ukulele, the $1 million man.
Pitt plays Clemson and they play Louisville. Those are the 2 real games they got. That might be a challenge for them.
Well, we'll see what Louisville's about this weekend
This weekend, yep.
against Notre Dame.
We saw
got
last week.
SMU.
Notre Dame beat them last week.
Yep, they got a tough SMU team this week. That's coming to Louisville to play, but SMU I think gonna play them tough. They coming in after putting up 42 on us. It ain't like we anybody, but it is Florida State, So I think they just gonna be trying to get a good win too.
And I don't think Clemson and Miami play? Let me see. I don't think they play either.
No, I don't think they play this year.
No, so they would just meet in the ACC
championship.
They
Yeah.
both
They
might
haven't
be
started talking yet, babe.
in the conference.
Yeah.
They haven't started debating yet.
All right, let me ask y'all this one. Out of the Big Ten, can Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, or Rutgers go undefeated?
We know at least one of them can.
Who that, Indiana?
I can't remember. Let's look at Indiana's schedule. Who they got on the schedule? I would say
I think they got an easy schedule.
they got.
Or do we play them?
I think y'all play Indiana.
I think we do too. Yeah, we do play Indiana.
Yeah, y'all play Indiana.
I
So
just
we know Indiana ain't gonna be it for sure, right?
Yeah. I don't got enough faith in Penn State, and it's the banger in a couple weeks.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Banger in a couple weeks
to beat Indiana, Oregon, and Penn State. The only team they don't play is Rutgers. They don't play Rutgers out of the undefeated teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So Ohio State probably the only team coming out of that undefeated, unscathed.
Yeah,
right.
All right, well, let's look at this SEC joint. Can Alabama, Missouri, Tennessee, or Texas go undefeated?
When is the Texas-Alabama showdown? Is that for the SEC championship that it would be?
It would only be for the SEC championship, yeah. Unless they meet in the 12th.
So we're just saying for the regular season.
Yeah, regular season.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm gonna say,
Alabama can.
I would say Alabama and Texas can because of them not playing each other.
Yeah, possibly Texas too. Yeah.
Missouri and Tennessee, they got the games coming up that I think both of them got 4 tough games that we said they gonna I think lose 2 out of the 4, possibly because Tennessee got I think Alabama and Texas, if I'm not mistaken, but for sure Alabama and Georgia.
I think Alabama got Tennessee and Missouri, I think.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely Texas and Alabama.
Yeah, they definitely got Tennessee. Yeah, they got Tennessee and Missouri back to back.
Oh,
August
yeah.
19th and August 26th. They play both of them.
There
It could potentially be Tennessee too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't think they've showed enough.
You don't think so?
I
They
just don't
appear
think
high
Tennessee
powered.
showed me enough. Who they got?
They appear high powered.
Is South Carolina's quarterback back, or is he still hurt?
Oh, that's a good question. Because I don't know who Tennessee got this weekend. They got Arkansas trap game. Where's this game at? At Arkansas.
Big Suey.
So that's a trap game for Tennessee this week.
So Alabama, they got Vanderbilt, then they get South Carolina, then they get Tennessee, Missouri, LSU, then they get Mercer.
For the last game of the season, Mercer.
No. Then they get Oklahoma, and then they end the season against Auburn.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, geez.
Mercer. That's crazy, right?
That would have been a crazy scrimmage before the bowl season started.
Crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. Missouri going down to Texas A&M this weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's my pick.
You believe in Texas A&M like that?
I'm going to just pick them to win this one at home, being a big game in the SEC, Missouri coming out. You said no? You're shaking your head no?
But not Missouri. Listen, Missouri struggled in 2 games at home.
That's what I'm saying.
Now they got to go to Texas A&M and face the 12th man? Bro, that ain't no easy task, man.
And the last time Texas A&M was home, they blew one that they should have won at home. And who was it that they played? They blew that game that they should have won. And that's how they got that loss at home, I believe. So I believe I got them winning that this weekend for sure.
That's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah.
We'll talk
That
about
is. That's definitely going to be one to keep my eye on right there. See if Missouri can keep it going or if they're up out of here.
I need them to be up out of here because I don't want them to have a good record at the end of the season, man, and they mess around and get in the 12-team playoff and they don't deserve it.
Why
they don't deserve it?
Well, for one, their schedule isn't that difficult, and to get in there, man, their record, they're not going to be as good as their record says.
Okay.
And I don't want them to get in the 12-team playoff, man, and then they play somebody like Boise State and get beat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not that that's going to happen, but I just don't think that they will be a good team to compete in the 12-team playoff.
Hey, winning is contagious.
And it's the contagious. Nothing against the Buckeyes. It's the same team that beat your Buckeyes last year. So do you think
but we didn't have a quarterback, a wide receiver. We ain't have a whole lot running back. We ain't have a whole lot of stuff.
Do you think this team is worth being in the playoff? This Missouri team?
I don't know. If they can run these tables in the SEC, absolutely.
I don't believe in them. Texas A&M take them down this weekend.
It'd be nice to see Texas A&M try to make some type of comeback because they had I want to say they had back-to-back #1 recruiting classes and it just hasn't panned out.
Right.
All them dudes left. They got tired of what it was looking like, man. So them
dudes
They recruited. They got the kids.
Oh yeah. They
come down to coaching.
Yeah, that too. So they got Texas A&M, then UMass, Auburn, Alabama, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Mississippi State, and then Arkansas at the end of the season. That's a very
That's
doable.
pretty easy.
That's a very doable schedule.
You got one game.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. That Alabama game is the only one.
Yeah, that's it.
Oklahoma, if we pop Oklahoma next week, they got a tough schedule, man. They're gonna probably fall out of the top 25 real soon.
Right.
Yeah.
If we end up beating them. But you know how that game goes, man. You throw all the stats out the window. It's mono at that point.
That's what I'll be telling people, especially on rivalry games. You just put the stats away and you just watch the action.
For sure. Y'all got anything else y'all want to cover tonight?
I think that's it because I know we still got a few more to do on this college football through the week, and we ain't even getting started yet. We just buttering them up to start the week off.
Right.
We'll do NFL tomorrow, and then we'll do we got your show tomorrow too at 6, T1.
Okay.
And then we'll do the NFL schedule, and then on Thursday we'll have the college football schedule for that weekend. But before we sign off, man, we want to say rest in peace again to Dikembe Mutombo, John Amos, and our man, the father. You know what I'm saying? All of us who didn't have a father growing up, John Amos was our dude, man. We was our dude from Good Times. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to see a strong black father, man, listen, John Amos was your dude.
Good time.
He was your dude. And then we want to also say rest in peace to Pete Rose, Charlie Hustle. Put that man in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he gone now. Leave him alone. Yeah.
Put him in, man. Can't deny what he did. Can't deny it.
Ain't helping swing that bat, man.
Yeah.
You know? But other than that, fellas, I appreciate y'all coming on, man. And
You already know.
Always.
You already know.
Out of the way, man, and see if this live stream, this StreamYard, will allow somebody else to host. I mean, you could come on here and host, but I want you to be able to have control of it. Like if you ever wanted to do a show on your own, if I wasn't around or something.
Right, and we're going to throw it over to you, right, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to figure that out and see if it has those kind of capabilities or not. But I actually found out how to stream it live on Facebook. So we're streaming live right now on Facebook as well.
Oh, that's what's happening.
Sweet.
So I've just been toying around with it.
Now you pay every week, you pay every month for this stream?
Yeah, it's $50 a month. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which isn't bad, you know. It's not bad.
That's not a bad investment at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
If that's how you look at it.
Yeah, that's how I gotta look at it right now.
Right.
Yeah, agree.
Right. It's a low investment.
Yeah.
The reward is high.
Right. I'm actually gonna try to find me a iPad. Give me a stand for the iPad, so when we start recording those basketball games for City League TV, I can use that instead of my camera. I'd rather use that iPad. I watched this lady. She was.
You don't need it, man. These phones now, dog. It's so clear, man. It you know, you got the right phone and stuff. It's so clear, but yeah.
Yeah, because I got a tablet too.
Right there, the right phone. I got this old Android, man.
Yeah. Cause you know, it just the camera, whatever the camera is on the phone.
Yeah, well, this camera on this phone is bunk.
I feel you. Hey, I got an Android too, bro. I ain't mad at you.
All pushing the Androids.
Yeah. I left the Apple card a long time ago.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. I mean, my work phone is an Apple, but I can't do nothing but work stuff on that thing.
Right.
All right, man. Well, I'll see y'all tomorrow at some point.
Yep.
There it is. WTP Sports Dudes out.
WTP
One.
Sports Game City League.
Peace out,
Appreciate
fella.
it.